What is going on, FA Nation? John Member here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. Today, we are looking at the Wednesday 1:10 start time slate.
Ooh.
8 games here, kicking off some day baseball. Our 4 p.m. live show will cover the 6:35 main slate, so we won't leave you hanging there. Full day of baseball show coverage here over on Fantasy Alarm, but we figured, we'll cover the early slate for those of you who are going to be prepping overnight. Maybe you got a night job, you wake up early, you want to get it in on your ride into work, build your lineups at lunch. We'll cover the early slate for you to tune in and get ready to go. And then, of course, tune back in here 4 p.m. for the late slate. Howard, my friend, how are we doing today, man?
We're doing pretty well right now, John. Although I tell you, the Logan Webb current situation against the Boston Red Sox is a little unnerving to me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, listen, what are you going to do? These things, they tend to happen. So we scratch it off. We say that's the way it goes. And then we move on to the other slate. Now, I'm not a huge daytime slate guy, but there are definitely some plays here that we can dive into. And first and foremost, by the way, thank you, everybody out there for watching us here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. It's a nice way to show some free support. And if you want to pay for some support, how about this swanky little polo shirt I'm wearing, courtesy of Fantasy Alarm, right, John? I mean, you look great in that sweatshirt. I look great in this hat. I look great in this polo. I'm going to mosey on over. Oh, what's that? That's an all-pro QR code. I thought that was the fantasyalarmstore.com.
No, I wasn't prepared enough for the store the store promo code there. But I can't throw out our all-pro subscription package.
Yes.
40% off the month-to-month cost if you go annual. You get the year subscription. That'll include all of your upcoming fantasy football needs, the rest of your MLB DFS and MLB seasonal needs, the rest of NBA, NHL, MMA, PGA, NASCAR, you name it, we cover it. You get a full year's worth of content for 40% off what you would spend if you were on the month-to-month subscription. So go to fantasy.com/win, scan that QR code right there. Go come and join the family today.
And I will say, if you want in on these best ball drafts that me and Andrew Cooper are doing together every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, you have to be a Fantasy Alarm subscriber. Have to. You can buy the cheat sheet, the best ball cheat sheet on your own, on its own if you want. Sure. But why do that when you can get everything at a discounted price? So we ain't letting you in on these drafts if you ain't a subscriber. So just saying.
Agreed. All right. 8 games up at the top. We got Wheeler versus the new Mike Troutless Los Angeles Angels. Torn meniscus in the knee out of nowhere. The man stole a base on what day is today? On Monday. Stole a base on Monday. Somehow tears his knee, a meniscus in his knee. Gonna miss next 2 months, probably at minimum here, which just means that lineup is all that much easier for Zach Wheeler here. He's $11,000 though. You have Chris Sale against Seattle, who continues to strike out against the world at $9,800. Graham Ashcraft is $8,800. What is what? All right. At 88, Zach Eflin is 85. Seth Lugo, 82. Bassett, 81. Rounding out your top 6 starters here. Before we went live here, Howard, you were just champing at the bit to talk Chris Sale here. So what do we got against Seattle?
I mean, it's about the strikeouts. It's 100% about the strikeouts. I mean, listen, Chris Sale has looked good so far this season. There's no doubt about it. But, I want, if he's averaging, I mean, is he averaging 7 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts a game right now?
On that.
Right in there. I mean, pop that up to 8 for the for this game against the Seattle Mariners. So I'm definitely looking at locking in him. I love Zach Wheeler against the Angels. I definitely do. But I think I'd rather pay the $1,200 less and get myself in on some Chris Sale.
Yeah, agreed. Again, Chris Sale, great spot here. I immediately just went to Bailey Ober as like my next guy. Again, Ober's been ridiculous. It didn't make any sense for these price points. He was $9,000 on opening day, gets hurt, bounces back, misses a start, comes back, 78, 66, 7K, 68. And he's been lights out since that opening day start against the Royals. Now he goes up against the White Sox, who admittedly, we've talked about, they've been a bit more pesky of late than they were to begin the season. We're coming down for the first full month. Eloy's in their lineup getting healthy. Tommy Pham is giving a little bit of a spark plug. Gavin Sheets has been okay. But Bailey Ober is a much better pitcher than the 68 and 7K pitcher. He's back up to $7,800, but I still think this is a good value for him here today. So give me some Bailey Ober at $7,800.
Yeah, I agree. I can't. I'm not going to trust Ashcraft. I'm not going to trust Eflin right now. I don't mind Seth Lugo against Toronto. I think that's okay, primarily because I want to target against Chris Bassett, who just keeps getting smoked on a regular basis. So maybe you've got a little win equity baked in there for Lugo. But I love Ober. I think that's a perfectly fine play. And then a little further down here, I'll give Kenta Maeda a look against the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm just not a big fan. He is working off some extra rest now because he got rained out on Monday, and they decided not to pitch him, on Tuesday, which I don't really understand why. I might have to look into that a little bit deeper. But I mean, listen, Kenta Maeda is not the be all end all of things, but in 3 out of his last 4 starts have been perfectly fine.
Definitely perfectly fine there. I gotta say, the one thing with Chris Bassett is that all the damage against him generally comes against left-handed hitters. The Royals, they don't really have
not enough lefties.
Not enough lefties. They got MJ Melendez. They'll throw Michael Massey out there. I'm sure there's a couple other guys that I'm forgetting, but they don't have they're not Ohtani, they're not Freeman or Muncy that did the damage in that game.
No, you've got, you're right. It's very limited. It's Pasquantino. Mm-hmm. It's Melendez.
Pasquantino, that's a good call out. He may be a good one-off play, I think. I'm not sure I'm going to go full Royal stack, but Vinny Pasquantino, that feels like a pretty good potential one-off. And we'll talk first base. Obviously, we go position by position here. So that's good. I honestly forgot Pasquantino was a lefty there. Anybody else for you down here? I mean, Musgrove's been terrible. Colin Ray, maybe just because of how bad Tampa Bay has been. He's $7,400. But I don't really got much else down here. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I don't really like much else down there either.
Yeah,
no,
I'm with you. I'm just pulling up the Bassett righty splits to see if he's been. Let's see, versus right-handed hitters, 292 WOBA, 320 OBP against righties this year, 279 FIP. Again, yeah, it's just lefties that are doing it. He's got a 993 FIP against lefties. Lefties just smoke that guy. All right, catching position. We like to go cheap here. Which catchers are we looking to potentially target on this one?
Well, I mean, again, day game, so you have to kind of, pick and choose and see really where you want to, who's going to be the starter there. But I mean, listen, I'm again very, very content with paying all the way down at the bottom for catchers. I mean, let's see who. You could go Alejandro Kirk against Lugo if you want. That's 2,900. That's perfectly fine.
I wonder if you get Trump against Hancock there.
Oh, you might be able to get Trump for Hancock. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's that type of. He'll play in the day game because they won't. They'll DH Travis d'Arnaud. They'll use them both in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you there. All right, so we'll figure out catcher obviously when the lineups come out live, and we will look to spend down at this position. At first base, we talked about Pasquantino 46 definitely becomes a core play. I think 685 slug, 509 WOBA, 389 average lefties against Chris Bassett. Already allowed 5 homers this year against left-handed hitters. So Pasquantino great in the mid tier. Big price bump on Alec Boehm now, up over 5K.
I know, right? Sons of bitches.
Yeah, all the news due to happen. But honestly, I might just go to Pasquantino. I don't. I mean, Harper against the lefty and Olsen's okay. Matt Olson, he's kind of sucked He'll eventually break out of it, but I don't know if I want to spend 5,700 on him yet. Vladdy's too much for me. Goldie, no. I think Pat Patino might be it.
What's his face? Yandy Diaz might be intriguing, even though Tampa Bay is not popping out really that well. Mark Canha, but he doesn't really hit for any kind of power. What about? I don't know. I was going to use Hoskins against Eflin.
Torkelson's due for a homer eventually, right? I mean, I don't know. Like
Torkelson, yeah, definitely due. He's due.
Minnesota guys against Flexen's probably.
I was just gonna say Kirilloff, right? Against Flexen. That might be a nice one. You could use him in the outfield. That's nice and cheap at 41.
Yep. I like that. Carlos Santana, same deal. I told you the home runs for that guy. Now 4 and 5 games. They're just starting now, so we'll see if he can get another one on his ledger there. But maybe some Santana there at 3,100.
No. I'm just not interested in the player. I would have to like really be paying up elsewhere if I'm going to pay that far down for a first baseman.
Okay. Second base here. Ozzie Albies is your top price guy. I don't know if this is short slate pricing or what, but Bryce Terang being $4,600 feels a bit too much.
Yeah, it definitely feels a bit too much.
I don't mind Ahmad Rosario at 45. He's been hitting the ball pretty well.
Agreed.
Stott lefty. I'd probably Julian at 42.
Well, I mean, we love those Twins lefty bats. You played them on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yep, probably just plug in Twins here.
Definitely a possibility. Nolan Gorman, if we're not playing Maeda, I think Gorman is a good one there.
Lefty? No, Lofton's a righty.
You ready for this one, John? Second base, $2,500. It's the lefty Adam Frazier.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say Massey also a lefty, 2,700.
Yeah, but Massey sucks, and they'll put Frazier in the outfield. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, again, perfectly happy to go some lefties there against Bassett, so that works for me. Nothing else down here though. No. Let's move on over to third. You got Riley up the top. We talked Bohm already. Bohm might be a plug anyways. So even at 5,300, the man's the hottest hitter in baseball. Patrick Sandoval sucks most days. So happy to test that one out. Garcia switch hitter, righty only. Damn, they just don't have any lefties.
Yeah,
just don't have.
Machado's fine. Isaac Paredes is okay. I prefer Cabrian Hayes if they're facing a lefty. I prefer Rengifo if they're playing a lefty.
Whole bunch of injured guys here. This is where we're definitely paying up at third base. When do they call up Junior Caminero? That's what I want to know.
He's blocked by Isaac Paredes. There's no reason for them to bring up Caminero.
Can you be blocked by Isaac Paredes?
Isaac Paredes he's a good solid 30 to 35 home run bat who just has a shitty batting average.
Here's our guy.
Who's our guy?
Tyler Nevin, 2,500.
Third base. There he is.
Outfield eligible.
There he is. He made you. I gave full credit to you.
I appreciate it.
On the Stockwatch video, in the Stockwatch article, I said to anybody who's watched you and I on the MLB DFS show, you busted out a very nice call here with Tyler Nevin, and I dug into it a little deeper. I mean, it's his age 26 season. He's finally seeing regular at-bats. And if you're going to keep batting this dude second, I'm not saying he's going to have the same power as Brent Rooker, but it's that kind of vibe where nobody believed in Rooker. And then he got full-time at-bats with the A's, and he started to deliver. So I kind of feel like you've got a very similar vibe there with Nevin.
Yeah. Shortstop. Ellie is your number one guy. Joe Musgrove feels a little broken. So 6,400 too much for a guy that just had 8 homers and 17 stolen bases in a month. The only player in baseball history to do that in a month.
Are you asking me if I would spend $6,400 on Ellie De La Cruz against Musgrove? Yeah, I would. It's not my first call though. Like it's not like my favorite. I mean, that's super pricey. Super pricey.
It is expensive. I would agree with you.
But Musgrove is very hittable. We've seen this before. Yes, he's kind of leveled off a little bit from where he was like in the beginning of the season, but not by much.
Yeah, I agree. Where do you go next then? I mean, again,
You go to O'Neal Cruz, baby, against
gonna
Ross
ask you.
Stripling.
I was going to ask you. We talked to Joe Boyle the other day, and you're like, Joe Boyle's got like a 10K per 9, and then there's 2 strikeouts for O'Neal Cruz. Is he gonna hit Ross Stripling? Ross Stripling doesn't strike anybody out.
Doesn't strike anybody out. Pitches to a ton of contact.
Right. So
I would lean in that direction. I wouldn't be averse to that.
You know who might be worthy of a stock watch article here is Ha-Seong Kim. I have him in a lot of leagues, and I've been a little frustrated with him here, Howard. And then I went and looked, and he has like a 25% infield fly ball rate. All of his other numbers are like either at or above where they should be if they were last season. He is just popping the ball up in the infield a lot. Eventually, that's going to level out. He's not going to keep on having a 25% infield fly ball rate, and he's probably going to start hitting the ball a lot better. I like stolen base upside with a righty on the mound here for Ha-Seong Kim. Willing to run that matchup again. I don't think Graham Ashcraft is all that good, so it could go there. I've never been a buyer of Correa. Caballero has some stolen base potential. RC is down at the bottom of the lineup again. He homered the other day, even against a righty, so could get some exposure to the Braves. And then I get the Willie Castro, who's been playing the outfield lately. Hot right now. Chris Flexen. This could be your spend down play.
Yeah. What does Willie Castro really contribute, though?
Well, last year he had 30 steals and like 10 home runs.
And what's he done this year? Nothing.
Well, last 10 games hitting 400 with 1,000 OPS.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
It's Chris Flexen.
It's Chris Flexen. You're right. It is Chris Flexen.
Mason Wynn's 3,100.
Ooh, I know you love going to Mason Wynn.
I don't mind with Mason Wynn, but that's probably it again.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot here sitting at the shortstop position that really intrigues me all that much. I don't know. You had me at Ellie De La Cruz, John, and I've kind of phased out there. I don't know where else we're going.
That's fine. Outfield. This one is not as loaded as the usual outfield slates. You have Acuna. Hey, Ozuna. All right. And like Spencer Steers, like your 4th highest priced outfielder. I don't know. It falls off a little bit. Tatis, J-Rod Versailles, probably a no. Randy Arozarena is terrible.
Yeah, he has not been hitting well at all.
Harris,
I'm not going to go with Taylor Ward. I'm not going to use Ward against Wheeler. Riley Green, actually, I think he's just hit his 6th home run on Tuesday. I wouldn't hate on Riley Green getting that lefty bat against Miles Michaelis.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I can do some Riley Green there. I don't think I've rostered him once this season, but I don't. There's always spots for it.
Right, but meanwhile, you're all over Richie Palacios.
Okay, I mentioned him one day because he had a homer and 2 stolen bases and had 40.
And I played him, and he went over.
Yeah, I didn't say he was the next coming. I just said guys that have that potential, maybe the right matchup.
No, man, I'm going to light you up like a subscriber. I pay for this service. I pay for John and Pemba to give me all of this and stuff, and he hands me Richie Palacios.
It's possible. Let's see here. Buxton against Flexen, I guess. I mentioned
Buxton against Flexen is okay. Again, we said we would like Kirilloff at 4,100 against the.
Yeah, where's Larnach? Where's he at?
Where is your boy Larnach?
38.
Okay.
I could get
there. And Kepler is a lefty bat as well. You could definitely get down with a little bit of a twin stack there.
Yeah, Henry's liked Lars Nootbaar. Hasn't been very good, but the potential. He had that nice little run earlier this season. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Where's MJ Melendez? There he is. 4K. I think I'm plugging. I get it. 094's last 10. He breaks out against Chris Bassett here.
He breaks out against Chris Bassett. Okay.
Yeah. Flag planned MJ Melendez.
Flag plant MJ Melendez.
Yeah.
Holy shnikes. All right.
I'm confident. Man doesn't have a 10 FIP against lefties without getting hammered by everybody. So.
Listen, I'm fine with that, man. No doubt about it. Further down, like we said, Larnack, Jack Sawinski.
Yeah.
He's a sink or swim guy. He's a GPP play, right? He's a
Sure.
lefty bat against Stripling. He's got home run potential. He's just hasn't delivered all that much. We're not going to use Eloy because we're probably using Bailey Ober.
What about Wenzel Perez? He hit like cleanup the other day.
How about Sal Frelick, who's a lefty bat against Zach Eflin?
Sure. Eflin obviously disappointed against the White Sox the other day. So
exactly.
Let's see. Anything further down?
How about your boy Jared Kelnick against Emerson Hancock? Get a lefty bat in there from the Braves, 3,200.
Possibly. Yep. You could do Nevin down here as well. Burleson's 2,500. That's probably it.
Yeah. JJ Bleday against Quentin Priester. Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot. Kyle Isbell is that lefty bat against Bassett if you're like really, really desperate for a dirt cheap bat.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's get a lineup.
Let's build a lineup, Johnny.
All right. Sale and Ober.
Sale and Ober. Just throw Trump in there as our placeholder behind the plate, right? It's 2,800. It's not, big bucks. Oh, look at you already with Vinny Pasquantino. All right. Oh, and Edward Julian. Jeez, now
you're part of the show, Howard. I promise. But there,
you're crazy, getting nuts here.
All right, we got 4,160. As we remember, there wasn't a ton of value, but Tyler Nevin was third base and outfield eligible. So if we were to use him at $2,500, do you think he's best served in the outfield, given the state of the outfield on this?
I think, yeah, he's definitely best filled in the outfield.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't want again, I want to see if we can get Alec Bowman there. I mean,
that's where I was kind of
might as well just keep riding that wave until it breaks, right?
Agreed. All right, shortstop. Definitely had some spend ups. My spend down would probably be Willie Castro. If we did Ellie, that would give us 3,300 a play.
Okay.
O'Neal Cruz was 4,250, which isn't terrible. And then Willie Castro was 4,850. And
what's you said Larnack is a guy that you want to get involved
there?
3,800
for Larnack. So that's 4,600 for shortstop and outfielder if we were just to split the cost. It'd be $2,800 outfielder to LA. We don't really have that kind of.
Put O'Neal in there.
O'Neal
Cruz.
4,700 would be. You like Riley Green? You could stack it with Brian Reynolds.
Oh yeah. You could definitely go with Brian Reynolds in there. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So take a little snapshot of that, and now I'm gonna flip it around here, John, and I'm gonna just make a couple of quick changes. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You let me know.
All right. So take out Edward Julian.
Okay.
And get yourself some Adam Frazier.
Okay.
Get rid of O'Neal Cruz, and get yourself some Ellie.
Okay.
Drop Larnack and Brian Reynolds, and get yourself some Michael Harris and some Jared Kelnick.
Michael Harris, Jared Kelnick, way down here, 3,300.
32. So just an alternative look to the lineup that we had in there before. We're paying down elsewhere here. We're getting we're paying up a little bit more here for Michael Harris, getting him at $5,000. But again, it's Emerson Hancock pitching to contact against the Braves is always kind of tough. So I guess, it's just a matter of really where you want to go as far as utilizing, second base. Do you want to pay up for second base? You want to pay down for second base? Where do you want to go? And we still paid up here at shortstop. This one even more so with Ellie. But, O'Neal, not too bad. Oh, shit. Where you go with this now?
Little Kirilloff one off.
Oh.
Gives you the Melendez, Pasquantino, Frazier.
Yeah, that's spicy. That's a spicy meatball.
Just kind of playing around with some things, Could do the do we believe in Brett Rooker? We can do the Rooker Nevin stack there.
Wow, now you're just getting a little out of control.
All right, we're getting crazy. All right, so there's a couple of example lineups for everybody. For all of you here. Again, 8 games starting at 1:10 Eastern time. We'll be back again live at 4 p.m. Eastern to break down the 6:35 main slate. Henry Wilson will have your playbook for Wednesday as well, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, you can find us on Twitter, get us in the Discord, become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family today so you get access to all of our premium content and our premium Discord where you can talk to myself, Howard Bender, Andrew Cooper, Henry Wilson, Colby Conway, Matt Sells, you name it, the whole team's in there answering your
questions. What about James Grande? Can you talk to James Grande on Discord?
Yeah, if you're doing NBA, he's in there. NBA DFS, carrying you through the playoffs. James Grande in there, getting you guys ready to go as well. So team's in there to help you all out, get you guys ready, help you build those bankrolls. How's got your best bets during the week? Dan Silverdidio's got you on the weekend. So a lot of great things here over at Fantasy Time, so make sure you check that out. Good luck with your lineup builds for the morning and afternoon slates, everybody, and we'll catch you all later.